Hello, this is Elaine with Elaine's Creations, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a fun hiding rainbow card. Alright, for this fun little rainbow card, you pull and the rainbow disappears behind the clouds. Isn't that fun? Okay, I'm going to show you how to put this together. So I have started with couple pieces here. I have a piece of balmy blue that's 5.5 by 4.25, and then I have another one that's also 5.5 by 4 that I've used the basic border dies to cut. I also have used the basic border dies to create a little template that I can use so that I can mask and make a little bit more of a cloud cover. I'm just gonna get a scrap piece of paper here. So I've got a blending brush and some white ink. So I'm just gonna get a little bit of white ink, just kind of rub it off, and I'm gonna go a little bit at an angle here. And I'm just very lightly gonna rub some of the white ink on. Don't need very much. Okay, and I'm gonna set that aside and let that dry. And then I am going to emboss on this piece right here. And I'm gonna use my Stamparatus for that. So I've got it set up here with a stamp from the Sunny Sentiments. I'm just gonna use my little makeshift embossing buddy. And I'm just gonna stick this right in this corner here. And that right there. And then I've got some Versamark ink. So this is the Sunny Sentiment stamp set, and I thought this was perfect for this card. So I'm gonna use some Versamark ink and just ink this up really, really well. And then stamp that down. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit more. That's what's so great about the Stamparatus is you can just keep re-inking and adding more. Okay, and now I'm going to put this aside, and I'm gonna use some white embossing powder, minus that little piece right there. Okay, looks pretty good. Just move everything out of the way, and I'm gonna heat this up. So that it doesn't smear. Okay, got something up there. All right, so now I have little pieces of my rainbow that I've cut out with the rainbow dies, and I've cut some clouds with the Give It a Whirl dies. So I've got these little pieces that I actually cut from another card, and I've saved them for this card. So I'm gonna do a little coloring. Grab my scrap piece again. And I'm gonna use Poppy Parade and Granny Apple Green and Daffodil Delight and Bermuda Bay. So I'm just gonna color each portion of my rainbow, and I'm using all the dark blends. And Bermuda Bay. And I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. I also have some little hearts cut out with the Sweet Hearts dies. So I've cut out some of those. And I'm also going to use the cloud punch since we no longer have circle punches, which I'm still sad about. I think the cloud punch still works well to create, and I forgot to do it on this card, but it works well to create a little notch so that you have a place to pull, to put your thumb in and pull. So I'm gonna put it in, I'm gonna use this side of the cloud. So just gonna guess. So that should be good, okay? Should give us a good area to pull. And it looks like this is like a tiny bit longer than this one. So I'm just gonna trim that really quick. I'm shooting a video. I'll edit that out. Okay, so now that's the same length, and I've cut out a 1-inch piece of thick Whisper White. So this is thick Whisper White, and I've punched a hole with the 1/8 inch punch here, and you can just, it doesn't have to be rounded, but you can cut it rounded if you want. So that's gonna be part of our mechanics. And I was just waiting for the glue to dry on this, but I will go ahead and cut this off here. So you don't really have to cut close on the bottom, but I would cut close on the edges of the rainbow. Okay, we've got our rainbow ready, and then I used a template to cut a quarter circle. So I cut a quarter circle, and then I added an arm, and then I've punched a hole in 2 places. So I've made like a little kind of diagram of what I'm gonna do here. Kind of a little, whoa, crazy diagram. But I went ahead and made this out of a window sheet to make it a little bit better. And then as for the hole, it is, and I forgot to write it down, but it's 1.25 inches high. So it's 1.25 inches high, and it is 2.5 over. Okay, so you're going to take your piece right here and measure 2.5 inches over, and then 1.25 inch, 1.25 inch high. Oh my gosh, I got it right on the dot. Okay, so then we're going to use, if you have your, take your pick tool, you can just remove the spatula part and lock in the piercing part. You can go ahead and just pierce that. And we're gonna put a brad in there. I always change it over back to the spatula because that's what I mainly use, and I don't want to stab myself. And then I've got these brads, the round and square brads. You're gonna need 2 of those, and it doesn't matter what color because they're gonna be covered up. But this part is going to, I don't think that punched very well. I'm gonna repunch that. Okay, so this bottom piece right here, you're going to hook to this bottom piece here. And this is pretty, these are pretty long, so I might use some wire cutters and cut some of these pieces off because it kind of goes off a little bit there. And I should do that now. So I'm just gonna trim this one to the edge of my white piece there so that it doesn't bother the mechanism. And then this one, doesn't matter how long it is because it's gonna go in this hole right here. So this is creating like a swinging arm. Okay, and it's gonna swing like this. Whee! Uh-oh, that other side is showing. Okay, I'm gonna cut the other side too. So I'm gonna pull this back out. These brads are pretty malleable, that's good. But I'm gonna trim both sides because it's just too long for this. Whoops. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this back in. Okay, so that's better. Okay, so now we've created this swinging arm here, and we're gonna decide how far we want it to swing. Okay, so we're gonna do that by placing this over the top like it's going to be, and then pushing this like where we want it. So we're gonna place the rainbow where we want it to be, and I'm gonna put a cloud there to cover that up. So that's about where I want the rainbow to be, and that's where I want it to stop. So I'm gonna go ahead and trim my window sheet right there, and I'm gonna leave this there, and I'm gonna use some glue dots. I'm gonna do 2 glue dots to hold this rainbow in place. I don't want this arm to move while I'm putting down the glue dots. They don't want to stick to it. There we go. Okay, there's one. And then here's number 2. Okay, and this one I'm gonna have to fold up a little bit because I don't want any adhesive sticking to the back. Okay, and then that went, let's just double check. So if this is here, this is gonna go this. Okay, so that's where it's going to go. So now we're going to use dimensionals to create some stops. And actually, I want all my dimensionals to be the same height. So I recommend using the foam strips because you're going to use the foam strips anyway. These are some leftover strips that I had from the paper pumpkin. So I'm going to use these up. So I'm just going to put one down here. I shouldn't have moved that. I got to create a stop first. So I'm going to cut this in half and I'm going to create a stop right there so that my arm piece is going to stop right there. So it's going to stop. That's even a little bit too far. So like right there is where I want it, but it should be fine. But I'm going to go ahead and move this over. Whoops. I want it to stop right there. Okay, and then if it's sticky on the edges, you can just put a little bit of baby powder or get some cornstarch on there so it's not sticky there. Okay, and then the second stop that I'm going to create is down here because I don't want the rainbow going off the card there. So I only want the rainbow to hide to about there. So I'm going to put another dimensional right there to stop it. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of cornstarch on that again. Make sure it's good. And then I might need cornstarch back here because I think it's sticking back there. Cornstarch everywhere. Okay, so that is our two stops right there. And so now we're just going to add some dimensionals along the side. So I'm going to place this here at this stop because I want to make sure that the dimensional I put, or the foam strip that I put here, is not going to interfere with this. So I might want to do the skinnier ones, but I'm going to see if this long thick one is gonna work here or if that's gonna be too thick. I think it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna put it right on the edge over here. And you just wanna make sure it's not taller than your piece up here. Okay, so I think that works right there. Okay, that's still looking good. Okay, obviously I can't put any dimensionals along this path here, but I do want to put a couple more here and here. So I'm gonna do another one right there and one right there. Okay, and just press those down, make sure everything's still working good. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put this right about there so that I can put a dimensional up here. So let me see. I wanna put one like up here just to support this little piece right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna put this all the way over here. Okay, so I think I can put one, let's see, if I pull this all the way this way, then I can put one right there. And do I want to put one right there? I don't think so. But I can flip this over and I'm gonna put one up here. So that supports that. Okay, I think that's gonna be good. And this is good because this is nice and tall, so it's gonna give our rainbow a lot of room to move around in. So we're just gonna double check one more time, make sure everything looks good. Make sure everything looks good here, okay? And I think we're good to put this on. So let's remove all the backing. So foam strips are definitely the way to go for this. Just makes everything easier and higher because they're a little bit taller than the regular dimensionals. Okay, so I'm gonna try to line this up. Okay. All right, so let's test it again. Ooh, looking good. Yay. So now I've got it pushed in all the way. So I can trim this piece off, and I'm gonna just do it out to here for now. For now, we can trim it more later. But if you want to, you could add like a half circle or something there to you know, indicate that there's something there for you to pull. Okay, so now I'm gonna add some dimensionals to these clouds, and I'm gonna save this one because it's a nice, good, straight one. But I'm gonna use, these are again paper pumpkin ones. So I'm gonna use paper pumpkin, little mini dimensionals on this one, and it'll be like the same height. And I just want to make sure it's not in the way of the rainbow. So I'm going to put it all the way up here in the corner. And then the other ones, I am going to use the lower mini dimensionals for these. Oh, and I need to be really careful about where I place these. So this one I want to be here, so I can put a dimensional here. And then I need to put one down at the bottom over here. And I'm gonna use that to cover this up over here so you can't see the edge of the rainbow there. And then this one I'm gonna put up over here, and I'm gonna move it over a little bit there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some mini dimensionals towards the bottom of this one too. About there. So cute. And then I'm gonna add a couple of hearts, and they should fit on some mini dimensionals. So just go ahead and place the hearts, and then you can put the hearts wherever you want them. One up here, and we'll do one down here. Okay, straighten that up a little bit. All right, so we've got most of it done. Now I just want to add, just put that back in there, a little, well, I want to add this onto a card base, but I also want to add like a little, like half, gonna add one to this one definitely, but like a little half circle or something here so that you know to pull it. But first I'm just gonna measure this. It looks like it's a little bit too tall. So I'm just gonna trim a tiny bit off the top. Probably should have done that before I added everything on, but I think it should work. I just gotta tuck everything under there, and then we're just gonna do just the tiniest bit here. Okay, so let's check that out. That looks pretty good. And I'm just gonna put adhesive on this piece. It'll just be easier because this is flat. All right. Yay. So there's our rainbow. Whoop. So fun. Okay, so now for both of these, I'm just gonna add a little bit something here so that you can see to pull it. So let me grab, what color should I do? Maybe yellow. Okay, that kind of works. All right, I'm gonna use the Everyday Label Punch to round the ends. So I'm gonna stick this in here about to there. And I'm just going to score this in half, hopefully in half. I just need a little bit of a help here. And then I think I can adhere that. And this is gonna fit in there. So I'm gonna trim that a little bit more. And I'm gonna put some glue on here. And pull this out. And we're gonna fold that over and let that dry. And this is gonna be our little pull tab. Okay, I have this teeny tiny little arrow that I should have put adhesive on the back, but I'm just gonna use some liquid glue and that'll help indicate to pull the tab. So we'll just stick that hopefully right in the middle here. Use lots of glue. And that'll be our little pull tab. When it dries, I can pull it, but there we go. There is our super cute little rainbow card. Thank you so much for watching my video tutorial on this fun fold card. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and make sure to click on the notification bell so that you know every time I post a video. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.